it's one of those things where I always tell people too, it's like, it shouldn't feel like a full-time job to you. It should be, I mean, any designer, if you're working 8 hours a day, then you're not putting in enough work. Like you should be going home, you can't stop thinking about it, can't stop thinking about that logo, what you can do better tomorrow to make that thing final. Um, we had interns in the past and it was very obvious that like, oh, this is just a job. Like I want to go collect that paycheck, work 8 hours a day. And when I leave, I don't think about this shit again. And to me, it's like, if that's how it is for you in design, then it's not a good career for you.
The Perspective Podcast is fuel for your mind and creative grind. Each week, my guests and I provide the skills for thinking bigger, overcoming adversity, and making an impact with your work.
PC family, today I'm chopping up with round 2 of my Familia Lincoln Design Co. I'm sitting here with Dan. We got everyone else in the background hustling and working behind the scenes. So Dan, what's going on? Welcome back to the Perspective Podcast. What's new with you guys?
Hey, it's great to be back. Thanks, Scotty. A lot, I guess. We're not at the studio. We're down at the beach in Newport, Oregon, doing the 4th annual creative retreat. So kind of a good time that you kind of get to talk to us while we're all together in one room, kind of doing it for a week. So yeah, it's good.
Yeah, you guys been hustling too. You just got done with Designer Con and Creative Works before that.
Yeah, it's been a crazy 2 months. The last 2 months, kind of ended the year off with a bunch of stuff. Yeah, Creative Works was good, and then Designer Con, and then right down to the beach and the retreat. So it's been busy.
So as we rewind back to episode 41, shit, dude, that was like
damn
2 years ago, something like that. We're on 155 right now. Like, catch us all up from what's happened since there. That's like when I met you guys at Crop, and things kind of have consistently taken off. I know you were still relatively new with Lincoln Design, maybe a year into it.
Yeah. So, oh man, I mean the crew.
It's been a minute.
Yeah, it's been a while. Yeah, that's why when we hooked up last time, I was like, dude, we got to do another one. Yeah, it's been over 2 years, but yeah, kind of just doing the same thing in a way. Same guy, same crew. We have kind of got a little bit more into animation. We had a guy intern, Frankie, that did a bunch of animation work for us, and then he ended up working for another studio, and he still helps us out with some animation projects on the side. And then we have Damaso doing some of the morph style animation. So I think last time we talked, we weren't really doing much in the animation, world, but that's something we've been taking on and hoping to push a little bit more. Those are super fun projects, and we do stuff for Santa Cruz and Creature and stuff like that. So definitely want to keep that going. And then we've moved offices like probably twice since you've talked to us.
Mm-hmm.
What else? And then just kind of doing the, Creative Works, Crop, some of that stuff every year. And then I think since we talked too, we released a portfolio book, which is now sold out, and then just did this Logo Man Handbook. So just continuing to make product and do the client work as well.
Yeah, and in a little bit, I want to talk about how do you guys make time to do work for yourself? Because I feel like someone like me, that's hard to do. There's enough shit on my plate already. For those, though, who live under a rock and have no idea who Lincoln Design Co. is yet, what do you guys do, and who do you do it for?
So we're a design and branding studio in the Portland, Vancouver area. And we do a lot of basically logo, branding, illustration, package design, style guides, brand books, stuff like that for a bunch of different companies, whether it's kind of the skateboard industry, which is where we got our start, as well as a lot of stuff in the toy entertainment industry, working with some new beverage companies with Monster Energy, some stuff for Mountain Dew, Dew Tour, stuff like that. So kind of a wide range of clients and projects, but a lot of it is based around branding, logo design, development, and then illustration as well. So there's 6 of us, basically a 6-man crew, plus my wife that does the books. So we kind of have seven employees, and everyone has their role and what they're good at. And we kind of divvy up projects based on who's working on it and what that project is.
Nice. Well, do you, let's see. So I do see some smaller things like that. Do you guys work with some like mom and pop kind of things, Instagram pages I saw too? Like, what's the ratio? Is it probably like 80% big names and 10 to 20% kind of these smaller places?
I would say it's like either 60-40 or 70-30 as far as like bigger brands, and then 30% kind of small logo projects for a startup company, mom and pop coffee shop or something like that. A lot of it is kind of bigger projects or brands, but we still continually have logo projects all the time for like a startup company or a mom and pop shop. Like we'll never get away from that. I feel like that's, and some of that stuff is some of the funner projects,
In terms of like creative freedom kind of thing?
yeah. When you have a company that's starting out, and you're responsible for the branding for that new restaurant or that new, company, it's always fun to kind of dig in on the ground level, where a lot of the bigger brands, they're obviously established and we're just adding to their, marketing in a way. So yeah, we'll always do the smaller projects and stuff like that. That stuff's always good.
So being that the show, the identity since we've last talked, like it's totally evolved kind of to be kind of what I am, side hustler. Well, by the time this comes out, I'll be making the leap full time, which is pretty dope. So again, it's been a long time for me in 2020 or
Yeah.
since we last recorded. So fun
Oh, yeah.
stuff. But being that it's for side hustlers and freelancers who are grinding outside their day jobs trying to build something for themselves, it's crazy that your team is also full of side hustlers who not only work on dream jobs for dream clients, but they also have their own outlets they pursue on the side.
Yep. Yes, they do. Yeah, and that's one of those things where, I feel like, everyone in the creative profession, almost always has something going on the side, where, just because you work for a company, whether it's like even like Nike or Adidas or something like that, doesn't mean that the job you're doing all day long is something that you're super stoked on, So a lot of guys, have that side hustle where they're going to go home and they're going to build fonts for themselves or patches or whatever. And I encourage that because I feel like that's kind of your creative outlet, in the evening or at night. And then you come back to work and you're back on, that same project or whatever. But yeah, these guys have their own deal on the side, which they do, and then full time for the studio.
When's the last time you had something on the side?
No. Yeah, years. Yep. It's been 15 years or something. If I have time on the side, I'm putting it into something for Lincoln. So yeah.
So like how many of those things like building fonts, everything like Dustin and Kern Club and patches and Jordan and them also doing side sketches, like all that shit that they learn outside of it, does it kind of flow back into Lincoln as well?
For sure. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. When Jordan and Dustin started doing fonts, for themselves, then I was like, oh shit, okay, let's start building a couple for the studio as well. So definitely that stuff kind of goes back and forth and kind of full circle in a way. So yeah, that was we got into fonts because Jordan and Dustin kind of got into it and then knew how to build them and stuff like that. So.
And does anybody ever get burned out? I know people are working in the background, but like burnout doing their own thing on top of it.
Yeah, I don't know. You guys get burned out?
Of doing their side hustle.
Right. Yeah. I don't know. I'm sure there's days these guys, take a break and whatever. Dustin can tell you.
Yeah, it's just the fun stuff, if you're doing your work at, during the day, it's like fun to come home and crank on your own stuff. So
all those fonts you do outside of it, you don't get burnt out because you're just like in your computer programs all day. Because a lot of people tell me they get burnt out and they don't have motivation, energy, and time to grind outside their day job. I don't have that problem, but I didn't know if you live in staring at a screen all day. Like I switch it up with analog at times, but you're working in Adobe Illustrator and then you're over here, whatever your font program is, tearing those turns.
yeah, it's not bad. It's fun. It's easy. I have some buddies that do real manual labor jobs. So I just think about these guys digging holes and doing stuff that physically makes them like not able to keep working. So it's fun. It's easy. Just get a good song going when you get home and put some music on and yeah, crank it up. It's just fun. I've never even really worked before. We're just making logos and so yeah.
Perfect. And that's eventually what I want to get to is this work is play for you because that hits home. I got some people down the street right now doing construction outside in fucking 10-degree weather. And I'm in here getting to chat over the internet to homies in Oregon. So I get it. Like when you treat your work like play. So this is play for every one of you guys, right?
Exactly.
But yeah, you do burn out. You do burn out for sure. Like I do, you know, so that's when I just switch up the medium. You know, I'll go back to pencils, or I'll do some painting, or I'll do some, just switch up the medium, just, you know, kind of hit the refresh button. And yeah, that usually holds me up a good week or two, you know.
I think that's a good takeaway right there. Pivot and find a different outlet or switch up the medium. So when you're getting burnt out doing that frame by frame animation, huh?
Oh yeah, dude. Yeah, no, I need a little break every once in a while for sure. A little breather. Yeah. Got to hit that reset button and do some painting or something for sure.
So yes, coffee no work. See, I'm rocking one of the oldies right now, Death Before Decaf. That was like the first product I bought for you guys.
Yep, that's a good one.
Are you selling those mugs, by the way?
Yeah, they went up yesterday for sale.
Okay. What about the roast, the coffee roast? What's up with that?
That's coming. Yeah.
That's coming. That's a thing.
Yep, that's the thing. Yeah.
All right, that'll be a housewarming gift, both of those to myself here. If this comes out, I'll be settled in for about a month now. Okay. For me, sacrificing, that's been huge to get the results I want, to get to where I want to be, to finally make this full-time shift. Me, which feels like been doing this 5.5 years now, you know, it's all sacrifices to get to where I want to be. You got to do things you never done to get the results you never had. So for all you guys, I know there's a lot of sacrifice as well, especially the side hustle on the outside. Like, what are some of the biggest sacrifices you guys have to make on the daily to get the results you want, to keep getting those clients, to get people pounding down the door to work with you guys?
As far as sacrifice, I guess it's
because what time do you get in? I know you make sure you get in early. You're like Kobe getting in the gym to shoot 100 shots before the next person gets in there an hour later.
Yeah. I try and show up early every day, you know, kind of go through those emails and get the day started. You know, not always first one in, last one out, but for the most part, I try and, you know, I put in the hours for sure, to make sure everything's running, you know. It's definitely, you know, it's one of those things where I always tell people too, it's like, it shouldn't feel like a full-time job to you, you know. It should be, I mean, any designer, if you're working 8 hours a day, then you're not putting in enough work. Like, you should be going home, you know. You can't stop thinking about it, can't stop thinking about that logo, what you can do better tomorrow to, you know, to make that thing final. You know, we had interns in the past, and it was very obvious that, like, oh, this is just a job. Like, I want to go collect that paycheck, work 8 hours a day, and when I leave, you know, I don't think about this shit again. And to me, it's like, if that's how it is for you in design, then it's not a good career for you. Because for the most part, it's almost a, you know, 24-hour thing. You're just looking at, you know, designs and the world in a different way, and bringing that into your workflow. So yeah, I mean, for me, it's always just hours and putting in the time.
How often do you get a chance to go socialize in real life? I mean, like, I know sometimes it's hard to even like be around family because you guys are traveling and everything like that, you know?
Yeah, it's tough. And that, you know, that's always the juggle. Like, you don't want your work to be your whole life, you know. I have 3 kids at home, so there's, you know, I try and spend as much time and juggle that, you know, and get time with the family and do things outside of work. But yeah, when you start doing these conferences and stuff like that in the last like 2 months, that's tough, because we've just been, you know, going from Creative Works to Designer Con, and then driving the trailer back and coming out here to the beach and the whole deal. So yeah, it's one of those things, you know, you got to love it.
So when you do love it, like, I can't shut my brain off. And that's awesome that you say that too. That means like, oh, fuck, okay, yes, I was born for this shit. And I think that's how you know you're born for it. So do you have to force yourself to take breaks? Because I have to, like, every 7th week right now, I have to take a week off from the podcast, even though I feel like I'm letting someone down, or I'm not going to reach my goals of reaching the top 10 podcasts by the end of 2020 in the arts design category. You know, I have to force myself to take breaks. Like, do you have to do that? Like, you guys don't ever stop from the outside looking in.
From the outside, it probably looks like that. Yeah. But no, definitely, you know, definitely have to sit back and go, shit, you know, I need to take a day off or take a pause on this stuff, and you know, it'll get done eventually, type of thing, you know. but don't let that stuff linger on too long. I mean, I have a list of things that I could want to do and could be doing, and updating the website and all this shit that just at times it just drags on and drags on. But you can't be doing, if you're working on it 24 hours a day, you're gonna get burnt out.
So you're like me, the gym is sanctuary. Do you have like a squat rack at the office now? Everything in your office? Like when do you get that release, man, and still walk around looking like Brian Urlacher?
Shit, no, but Dustin always mentioned we need a heavy bag down in the basement, which would be a good idea. Put some client names on there, and when you get pissed down there,
Anybody that you can name right here, let's start some drama.
Yeah.
Get some beef going.
on this thing, when you get round 10 of changes on a project, like
Hit you with some changes and go down there and
Yeah.
let it out.
Yep. So yeah, these guys play Street Fighter. That gets their aggression out. They got a mean Street Fighter.
I know you got a
Yeah.
half pipe in your place too.
We did. The new studio does not. It didn't fit in the basement, so we moved, and the new one, the ceilings are too low for the mini ramp. So the mini ramp's kind of up for sale. I need to find Frankie needs to take that thing or somebody. Yeah, but yeah, no weights or nothing like that. Just a heavy bag at some
How do you make time for that anyway? When do you get a chance to do that? I mean, a lot of people aren't creatively fit in the first place.
Right. Yeah.
When do you make time?
I try and hit it on the way, if I can, on the way home from work, or my ideal situation is to go in the morning on the way in, but like you were saying, I like to be the first one in. So it always kind of bugs me if I do go and then I'm not the first one to get there. Like I feel like I started the day off, I lost 2 hours or some shit. So it's a struggle for sure,
What time do you guys get in? Because you're Pacific time, so I'm assuming most of your clientele, if they're not in Pacific time, are like way ahead of you.
Yeah, they are. A lot of them are East Coast, I try and get in at 6:30 or 7. So ideally 6:30 and then start the day. But yeah, like Hasbaro and some of those clients and Nickelodeon, they're all on the East Coast, so they're already cranking it at lunch, by the time I get in. So.
And talking about sacrifices, one of the things that I know you do, you don't get a lot of design time these days. Yours is the shit behind the scenes. And something that I love that you guys do that kind of blew me away because I've never really had that before. Any job I've been at, I've been my own project manager, my own consulting with brand business units. You handle all that shit up front, and then everybody else gets face time with the programs. Like, describe the benefit of that. I mean, that's the sacrifice right there to get what you want, to take the team to where you want to be. That's one of the things I'm looking for. But why is that so important to, I guess, shield them from that stuff so they can do what they do best?
Yeah, I mean their time is better spent, working on the projects and doing the design work. I take on the load of the project management and kind of doing that day-to-day stuff. I would love to. I mean, I would say I get 20, maybe 30% of my time where I can actually work on something, spend it designing something, whether it's a logo or like putting the Logo Man Handbook together, stuff like that.
That was okay.
I would love to have more time for that stuff, but at the same time, if I do have a ton of time for that, that means like new projects aren't coming in. I'm the one going out there and trying to get those new projects and keep the clients happy. So, I mean, it works out well. These guys kill it on the back end with doing the design work, and it kind of keeps me focused on keeping the clientele going. I mean, my wife does the book, so fortunately, I don't have to deal with that side of it and the accounting. She handles that. So if I had to do that, if I had to invoice and do the accounting and all that, there would be no time to do a book or a new patch or update the web store or shoot photos for Instagram. Like, I would be totally done. But she helps out with that stuff, so that's a big help.
What's her name?
Carrie.
All right.
Yeah.
Shout out to Carrie right now. Giving Carrie a shout out on the podcast.
Nice. Yeah, she actually came down for last night. She's leaving today, but we're gonna have a company meeting after this, so she came down to the retreat for the first time to hang out with the boys. So yeah, it's good.
I respect. I wouldn't be able to do the shit I do without wifey in my corner cheering me on and helping me out with so many things. So
Yep.
yeah, she's good at everything I suck at, like Excel's, accounting, everything. So I'm trying to like bring her over onto the squad full time, eventually.
Yeah, definitely. It helps.
All
Yeah.
right. So being that you guys are the powerhouses, working with the big names, crushing the big projects for the big brands, I know you're working under insane deadlines. I think when we recorded last, you had to like, as soon as you got off, you guys had to flip some kind of Transformers based stuff, like ASAP quick. How does it feel? You guys feel like you have to come up to the plate and hit a home run every time? Like you always have to redo your last one, beat your last hit?
Kinda. Yeah. Yeah. And they're always,
Under the pressure of that.
yeah, I mean, it can be tough. And then, they're always referring back to like what was posted on Instagram or whatever. And you definitely get projects where it's like, well, this looks good, but we were hoping for this and we don't feel like it looks as good as these projects. And, every project's different. They're not all going to look the same, but I mean, we definitely put in 100% effort on every single one, and try and deliver exactly what that brief is. But yeah, it's tough to constantly be like, oh, we need the most amazing logo or, packaging or whatever.
And how do they handle this too? Like, how do you create this environment where you enable them to thrive under pressure? One, it seems like everybody's work is fun.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I try and give them enough time, hopefully on every project where even though, I mean, we do a lot of stuff that's like a logo in a day type stuff, which that shit is pretty rough, to turn around
Is that
a logo.
a norm? Is that for like a bigger brand with an insane contract turnaround time, or?
I would say it isn't the total norm, but it's definitely not unheard of, like we get that shit a lot. I mean, even here at the creative retreat at this house that we're staying at, I was hoping for a little less work and quick deadlines, but we have a beer company that's like asking for sketches to be turned around by noon tomorrow. And it's like, fuck, like, the hope was to get out and kind of explore the beach and hang out and stuff like that. But we're kind of putting in a little more work time this trip. So it's just one of those things where you got to manage the time, and I try and manage that expectation with the client and then give these guys enough time to develop a good design.
Come back to the sacrifices again, man.
Yeah.
There. So like, how do you find time to create for yourself? Because I think Lincoln stands out amongst the noise because you break the rules of, hey, you need this set logo identity system for brand awareness. But no, you guys are like, fuck that. We got like 50 logos right now. And then we animate all of our stuff. Like, where do you guys make time? Or not where do you make time? Why is it important to make time to do stuff to create for yourself, to flex your own expertise within your own brand, while everybody else kind of just has that one facing logo, maybe a responsive identity kit, and that's that.
Right. I mean, honestly, when we moved the studio from San Diego up to Portland, we got up there, Dustin and I kind of moved it up there, and then Davey and Jordan came on, and it was kind of like, well, shit, nobody knows the name Lincoln. I had owned a studio before for 11 years, but we changed the name. So it was kind of like this push to like, okay, we need to get the name out there. We need to create some logos, some badges, and just start pushing that name. And so we did that, and clients like reacted really well to it. We kept getting these briefs that had our poster art on there, had like all of our logos and badges. And I was like, oh shit, okay. People are obviously digging this. The fact that, so like Nike's coming to us and half of their brief and their references in the brief is our work and our logos. So we just kind of kept pushing on that. It was like, we can't stop now. And so it's something I put on my plate as far as like how much time is going to get spent on, doing an animation. If Damaso's doing an animation, like how are we going to fit that into the schedule? But it pays off, for sure. Like the clients notice it and we get work based on it. Like even the whole animation, us getting into animation, most of that was because, Damaso did that first kind of morph animation with our logos. And from there, it was like, we had some clients notice. It was like, oh shit, hey, can you guys do this for our company? And so we just kept developing those and then getting that work, So like they say, you get what you show, so, the more brand. Yeah, exactly. So the more branding we do for ourselves and logos and badges and animations and shit like that, the more work we get in that space. And it's the work we want to do, you know? So yeah, it's good. It's definitely worth the time and
I think
effort.
that's a huge takeaway, especially for the listeners, the side hustlers, the freelancers, whatever. In a sense, you said you hire yourself, and now you're getting the work you hired yourself for.
Yep, exactly. You know, and you got to fit those projects in as if it was a client, you know? I mean, Damaso will be slammed with a bunch of projects and it's like, okay, spend the next day or 2 days on the Lincoln animation, you know, and then I'll know, okay, shit, he's busy with that, you know, then that next project that he can take on can't start until Monday. So it's definitely something that has to be, you know, put into the schedule and give the guys time to work on that stuff and develop it. It's not like done at night or on the side really. Well, you know, most of that stuff is done during the day, during the hours of work, you know. I'll do some.
Yeah, treat like your brand project as like an actual project that you brief and give out to someone.
For sure. Yep, definitely. Yeah.
I want to dive in, not really dive in, just give a quick little overview of the team setup dynamics so people can kind of understand, okay, we plugged Damaso with, you know, he's the animation expert in those high-end illustrations, but like, can you describe the dynamic of the other people in the squad? And then I'll link them up in the show notes too, so everybody gets some love.
Yeah, for sure. So Brandon, where you at?
I'm right here.
Brandon, come over here. So yeah, Brandon's actually.
I've never even got to meet Brandon yet. About time, dude.
You haven't? Oh shit.
No,
Yeah,
no.
we met when Baton
Wait.
Rouge. You were in Baton Rouge.
Yeah, you met Brandon.
Which one?
Baton Rouge.
Hold on.
Which
Oh,
one?
the first drop.
Yeah.
First one.
Yeah.
When we
Okay.
first met. Yeah.
Yeah.
You carried me down the street over your shoulder.
Oh god. That must have been Dan. Yeah. It's been a minute, man. How you been?
Good. How are you?
Good. Yeah. So let's get the overview on you.
Yeah. So tell them about you, Brandon.
Just illustration. Yeah, you know, kind of just hardcore classic detailed illustration. You know, I basically just draw shit.
You're San Diego, right?
Yeah. I live in San Diego. Lived there for a while. Went to the Art Institute out there, and yeah, it's my home.
Well, went to the Institute with a degree in animation.
Yeah, I went for the animation, not really to be an animator, just it had more drawing in the curriculum than the graphic design. So,
Yeah.
And
that's my
you're
thing.
not on like social media, right? Is Brandon's the one you're telling everybody they have to Google, right?
Yeah. I'm not into the social media thing.
Well, then I can't link you up properly, man.
You got to Google Brandon Hart.
Yeah.
All right.
Brandon.
I'm literally going to type in the Google search results and I'll plug the search results into the show notes.
Yeah, do that. Yeah.
There you go.
You'll get a ton of gig posters and skateboard
Yeah,
graphics.
just gig posters and
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah, Brandon was the first one we hired back. Fuck, how long ago was it now? 10.
I think we
Going on.
somewhere around 14, 13 years.
Is that what it is? Yeah.
From
So
your
yeah, we hired
experience before
Brandon.
linking?
Yeah. I hired him straight from college, and then yeah, he's been with me ever since. So he's the one responsible for a lot of skateboard graphics in the beginning, like the Tony Hawk boards and shit like that. Damaso does a lot of them now as well, and Davey, but Brandon was like heavy Dark Star, Tony
Just
Hawk.
Zero.
Yeah,
for a while.
Zero, yeah.
Zero skateboards just slamming
Set
us.
the tone.
Yeah, Zero Mystery and stuff like that. It did set the tone. You know, and we ended up getting a lot of jobs in different industries based on the skateboard graphic work that we did in the very beginning. You know, we had a lot of companies coming to us going, hey, we want to grab that audience and those kids and basically put that kind of style, that illustration on packaging for a toy or some entertainment property. So a lot of that work came from the skateboard background and all that stuff. And Brandon was responsible for most of that illustration. So, yep.
Word.
Yeah, check it out. Check them out.
Check it out.
Yeah.
Hey, thanks for swinging by, man.
Well,
Thank you
man,
for
good
the work.
Yes.
Hey, good to see you again. I'll carry you over my shoulder next time. What we got? Damaso up behind you?
Yeah, the monster's right there.
I want to make sure everybody gets a little screen time. Damaso, give us the skinny on you, man.
What's going on, man? So yeah, same. I do a lot of the illustration work now, animation, you know. So yeah. So try to complement what Brandon does, you know, all the heavy line art, you know. So I'll try to do a lot of the more painterly but still digital art, So yeah, that way we have a nice little dynamic going on in the art studio for sure. Yeah.
And you leverage again Photoshop frame by frame, the craziest animation style, like the old school way of doing it. None of that After Effects or any of that.
Yeah, super crazy, dude. But it's cool, man. It's nice. It's damn near, therapeutic, Like once you get in the zone, man, just like nothing could get you out. So yeah, for sure.
So good to see you again, man.
Yeah, likewise, man. Likewise.
All right, homie. Oh yeah, and I commented on that AD, the unibrow one today too. I went back to the work. Let's go LA.
Thank you. Yeah, those are fun, man. Those are always fun for sure. Those little sketches, man. Good
More
stuff.
of those, please. More of those, please. Lakers. Do a Caruso one next, please.
All right, for sure. I gotta Google him first, but yeah, nah.
Just like Brandon. All right, who we got next? I think Jordan. I saw Jordan in the background.
Yeah, Jordan, where you at? Pop in here.
What up? What up?
The pride of Waterloo, Iowa.
That's right. We both hold that down, huh?
Yeah, I wish we could have linked up back in the day.
I don't miss it at all, though.
No, like I was telling Dan, it's 10 degrees out here, and we get to move here in like a couple hours. So you know how it is. Good snow. Yeah, it's gonna be great.
Ice. Yeah.
Fill everyone in. You're the badge king over here.
Thanks. Yeah, I mean, I love badges and like old school type. Really into type. Most of my shit has this like type in it. To be honest, I do a lot of monograms and stuff like that. I dabble in the illustration a little bit when I have to, just to get, by basically. If there's a piece that's like, yo, we need this. I actually got the iPad Pro, so I've been trying to get a little bit better at doing some of that stuff. But mostly I just do badges and like, I handle a lot of the InDesign things when projects kind of come together and we need to put the whole kit and give the whole style guide to a company. I'll take the guys' files and put that into a document and wrap it all up, and that's what we end up handing over to the client at the end of the day. And a lot of patterns. We'll have like a bunch of the dudes create art, and then I'll take their art and like just blow it out, do like 10 patterns for that style guide and stuff like that. But yeah.
And the story of how you got hired in the first place, I think is pretty inspiring, especially for those people out there maybe doing their thing full time isn't for them, and they want to take initiative to go and get hired somewhere else. What was that process like of how you even got hired? Because I thought it was pretty dope.
Yeah, basically when I moved to Portland, I was freelancing full time, working for myself, and I was just so lonely. Like I didn't meet anybody, and I'm just like bored. And I'm like, my girlfriend would come home from work, and I'd just be like, "Yo, what's up? Let's hang out." She's like, "No, I'm tired. Like I'm tired. I just worked all day, and I hadn't seen a person in 3 days, So it was like, shit, I got to do something in this city. So I just like started picking out my favorite agencies in the city and made a list and just started going through them. And I'm like, whoa! I actually found the Revere Company, which is an old company that doesn't exist, but it was ran by Dan and Dustin, and they were making patches and pins and stuff. And I just did a little sleuthing and found out who they were on the back end, and they were running.
I call that stalking.
Yeah, stalking, yeah. And then I found out that they were running Lincoln, and I'm like, shit, these guys are sick. Like I gotta weasel my way in there. So like I basically hit them up on Instagram, and the timing worked out just right, and they were willing to, work with me. So that's kind of how it all came together. I just forced myself in.
And you do your own side hustle too.
Yeah, that's right. Yep. Do a little freelance, do a little personal stuff. I had just started a little mug company recently called Moonshine Mugs. And so I'll just, when I go home, have a funny idea. It's like, boom, let's put it on a mug, People love coffee these days, and that shit just goes. So no brainer.
Awesome. I'll be sure to link that up as well, man. Good connecting with you again. It's been a minute. Come back to Iowa.
I'll hit you up if I ever do.
All right, man.
Peace.
Later. We got Dustin up next.
Yeah, where's Dustin? Yeah, that's the one thing with these guys too, though, that even with freelancer or whatever, none of these dudes are one trick ponies, Like Jordan mentioned, like he's really good at badges and type and stuff like that. But at the same time, we'll have a big style guide. Like we wrapped one up recently for monster trucks, and it wasn't huge. It was like 16, 20 page style guide, but I leave that to Jordan to work with the InDesign file and put that whole thing together, so definitely like the work we have here is there's a lot of different facets to it that these guys have to be able to jump back and forth. I mean, it's not, Jordan's not doing badges all day, every day,
That's the fun stuff.
It's the fun stuff, and it's the stuff that, when a project does come in and it is that, of course, Jordan's going to jump on it. But at the same time, there's going to be some style guides and some books that have to get built and stuff like that. And he'll do that as well. And same with Dustin. I mean, there's, he kills it with the type and the layout and stuff like that. But he can also switch gears and build patterns and other things, when we get super busy. So it's definitely every dude kind of has multi talents, on top of what they're really good at. So, but yeah, it was Dustin's here. So say what up to Dustin.
How's it going? Yeah, art director at Lincoln. Been with Dan for a while. Going on, I don't even know, 6, 7, 8 years something.
Yeah.
And do whatever we got to do to get it done, logos, the fun stuff, all the way to the website, to helping source the product, take out the trash. So,
Some of the grunt work.
Yeah,
Just whatever
multi-talented.
yeah, whatever needs to be done, just I'm not going to draw like some of these guys here, but if we got to draw some shit, let's go. Same with like logos and stuff. I don't know, just the standard old.
Dustin puts together the blog.
The website,
Content.
So just keep it moving, just
Yeah.
Swiss Army knife it, and
Ooh, I like that.
yeah.
No one's a one-trick pony. Everyone's a Swiss Army knife.
There you go.
I like that.
Yeah.
Talk about your side hustle too, man. How do you make time? What all do you do? I mean, I know, but not everyone knows.
Yeah, dude, I like to stay busy, patches, pins, shirts, we got all that side stuff going on, tangible products. It's fun, but it's a lot of stuff the shipping is not fun. So, fonts and stuff kind of came out of that. We don't have to ship or inventory any of that. So, yeah, just been cranking on fonts this last like half a year, and it's been fun. It's been fun to see people use the fonts in their designs and just see it come to life, really. So, yeah, check out current.com.
Current Club. Yeah, I try to plug your guys' stuff in the newsletter here and there when I get a chance to give it some extra love. But yeah, where did Current Club come from, and who's it with, and what kind of fonts can people expect?
Primarily display fonts, something funky, real weird. It's not going to be this crisp ass, clean, agency Futura looking stuff. It's going to be the more fun stuff. And me and my buddy Samberghini started it a couple months ago, and that's the rule, is just fun. We don't want any boring, stiff, kind of stock looking fonts. It's where it looks like, oh, that looks like, such and such font. We're just trying to do some different stuff. So yeah, mainly just have fun with it. At work, there's always, with clients, there's rules and parameters, and this is no rules, no parameters. Let's just break all this stuff. So yeah.
You kind of pivoting away from like the pins, patch, merch game, the tangible goods?
I mean, yes and no. I have to rent a whole extra bedroom to inventory and warehouse all this shit. So no, I have too much product to pivot away from it, but it's not as fun. It's not as quick,
Okay.
Grizzly Wheeler makes the patches, but yeah, sometimes if the manufacturer messes up, it slows down the whole supply chain. So with the fonts, it's like it's all on you. Bust it, put it out, do it, just turnkey. You don't have to deal with all the steps of the sourcing and all the shit. So digital products are fun like that.
For someone who wants to get into fonts, I could ask Jordan this too. For someone who wants to get into fonts, what's the program that you use? How long does it take you to even kick out a font, and how do you release it?
We use Font Self. Same with at the studio. It's good, cheap, easy. It's really more about the letter form, designing the dope A through Z. Making the font is easy. Anybody could just pop into Google and figure it out. Super simple. Watch a little video on YouTube, and yeah, it's more about the design and the art of it, I would say. And then kerning, the thing at the end, you got to do, A next to A through Z, and then B next to A through Z. So it's just some time to kern the puppy out, but yeah, it's pretty straightforward.
How long does it take you to flip one? When you get an idea to the end product where you're making Instagram promotional features and getting it on your site?
I guess if you say like that, quite a while, because the design process is 2 to 3 days to get your A through Z, and then you probably take a week off, and then your kerning process is A through Z, or kerning is a couple days, and then you got to do the blog post work for it. So I don't know. Oh, wow, a good week, solid full week of after hours to crank one out.
Again, that's the shit you master on your own time and bring the efficiency into the squad.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, oh shit, Dan, we need to do fonts like this, or we need to pump more digital sales in this direction. So it's all just practice for game time.
For sure. I guess I talk about like leveraging your day job to fuel your dream job, but at the same time, when you're fueling your dream job, you can then leverage it at your day job. So it goes back and forth.
Yeah, it's definitely cohesive, just one big melting pot of stuff, basically.
Word.
Yeah.
Appreciate you popping up here, man.
Yeah.
All right, we got Davey. Davey around?
Yep, Davey's back there. Working on some badges.
What up, Scotty? How are you, man?
What's up, man? Good to see you. Crushing it as always. All right, give us the scoop on you.
So me, I basically do a bit of everything, like a lot of from logos to
Yeah, come in a little closer.
There you go. Grab a seat.
So yeah, so basically yeah, from simple logos to detailed illustration, like depend on the workflow, we depend on what we have. And I also love to do those varsity looking stuff, like all those mascot, like sporty looking.
Yeah, when I think of mascot, I think of you. When people think of Pete, I want them to think of me, but when I think of mascots, I think of you right away.
I like that.
Yeah, that's a high compliment. I could be like, I think of Davey and I think of mascots, but I think it's more powerful when I think of mascots, I think of you. So
yeah,
I feel like, yeah, that's high praise, man.
I'm good. Yeah, that's great.
I feel like you have a pretty crazy story too of how you got with the squad.
Yeah, I'm from France, so yeah, I'm a bit further than everybody, yeah, for sure. I did this big move, like coming to America and leaving. And, yeah.
Didn't you like Dan? You offered him, hey, if you can be here by X date or something, X time, and he like just showed up on your doorstep.
Yeah, great story. Yeah, we posted. This is at the old studio in San Diego. We posted a job posting, and Davey reached out. Hey, I'm interested. And I had known of him mighty short. I had known of his work. So when he reached out, I was like, oh shit, okay. Like where you at? What's the deal? He's like, oh, I'm in France. I'm like, well, this is an in-house job. And he's like, oh, I'm still interested. I said, all right, cool. Well, if you can get here, it was like 2 weeks out. If you can get here by whatever, January 20th, you can have the job. And then he kind of disappeared. I didn't hear from him for a while. And then come January 20th, 5 p.m. at night it was a Friday night. Everyone's packing up to leave. And I go to walk out and there's this dude standing in the lobby with his suitcases. And I'm like, can I help you? And he's like, I'm the mighty short. And I'm like, what? You're what? I'm the mighty short. You said if I showed up, I had the job. And I'm like, oh shit. Like, what the hell? You just got here on a plane? Yep. And so basically it started from there. He had Airbnb all set up and he's like, can you take me to my house? And I'm like, yeah, cool. And I'm like, be here on Monday. You start. And he's like, all right, cool. So that's kind of how it all started. And that was in San Diego. And then when we moved up to Portland, he flew back out from France and yeah, he's been with us ever since. So
again, another little learning. If you want something, make that shit happen. The answer is always no. If you don't ask, closed mouths don't get fed. So
go get it. Yep. Show up on the doorstep.
Exactly. Make it so they can't say no.
Yeah. What are you going to say?
And Davey, you do some side hustle too, right? You do some freelance here and there?
A bit, yeah. I'm trying to do some digital assets too, like and some fonts too. So yeah, I have fun doing that. Yeah, the cool stuff, definitely. Yeah.
Yeah. Whenever any of you guys have some stuff you want to just get some extra eyes on, please just hit me up. More than happy to share it. Especially you. I want to see you do some fonts. That'd be sick.
Yeah, I got some already. Actually, I got two on my website. Actually.
Oh, perfect. I didn't know. All right, you're not doing a good enough job promoting because you're doing all this mascot shit.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Word. Well, thanks for popping in, man. Appreciate you.
Welcome. Good to see you.
Yeah, good to see you too. That's the whole squad, right?
Yeah, that's squad. Yeah.
Um,
Frankie's here working with us. He works at a studio in Portland. like
He
I
does the
said,
animation, right?
yeah, he does heavy animation work and stuff. And he actually brought his drone out and was flying his drone off the back deck out here getting some video shots. So it's cool. But he's here with us for the week working as well. So
What's up, Frankie?
What's going on?
All right, the only one I haven't met. What's going on, man?
Yeah, hey, how you doing?
Good. Give us a quick scoop on you, man.
Well, I interned for them like 3 years ago, I think. While I was in school, and then originally was for graphic design, and then just kind of moved into animation. Been doing that since, and then this is kind of my side hustle right now. Is freelancing for Lincoln.
Yeah, we keep him busy on the side with animation projects from Lincoln, and yeah, Frankie kills it.
Did he do the project like the whole, you just gave him a bunch of swag and he filmed it all like that he showed at Creative Works? Was that his video or who was that?
That was Mac Primo. He's
okay.
That dude kind of specializes in like stop motion animation.
Okay, so it was a stop motion, that's right.
Yeah, that shit's like that's time consuming.
A whole other mind fuck.
Yeah. No, that's crazy. That was all.
Yeah.
But like any of the Santa Cruz animations or creature.
Like that Ninja Turtle one?
One of them, yeah.
One of them?
There's two different ones, and then like the trippy slime balls one was recent, which was that was fun to do. But yeah,
animation stuff, man, that makes my head hurt.
Yeah, it's still
that 2D world.
Yeah.
I'm good at getting on a camera and stuff, but man, I don't know if I had to pay or else for hours. But I don't know about the animation side of things.
Yeah. But that's it.
Hey, nice to meet you, man.
Good to meet you.
I want to talk about real quick the Logo Man Handbook. Give us kind of like a rundown of what that is, because I recently just got one in the mail. This shit's so sick, and this is the kind of thing I think if you're a designer without a thick skin, you get this in your possession, and you're probably gonna want to quit. So, kind of give a rundown of what's that for? Why did you create it for yourselves, and how are you using that as like marketing collateral to leverage? Have some fun with it, but then you're leveraging it as well. Oh yeah, screen time.
There it is. Yep.
I'd like to have some kind of podcast perspective collective logo in volume 2 someday, if that's okay.
Oh yeah, no, that'd be cool. Be down for that. Yeah, so I've always wanted, or I always make sure we have a physical portfolio book. Whether it's our last one was a larger book that had multiple projects. From logos to apparel to skateboard graphics, stuff like that. So I always want those, in our possession. So if a client hits us up, I can basically, drop a book in the mail, or if we go to a meeting, bring a book with us to leave behind. To me, kind of the print side of it's a big deal, especially nowadays. I feel like, everything's so digital and so, basically online on Instagram, nothing, you don't have this physical design or product. So I'm a print guy, so I'm always like, there needs to be a leave behind, a physical leave behind, when you meet with a client. So we're always making books, but this time we've been talking about doing a logo book. We do so many logo projects and stuff for different clients that it only made sense to kind of compile it all in a book and get that thing out there. So I put the book together. We had the deadline of DesignerCon to get it done for, and had them printed, and then brought them to DesignerCon and sold a bunch, a lot more than I thought at DesignerCon. And then, put it up on the website for Black Friday and sold a shit ton of them, more than I was expecting as well. So it's been going good. I mean, to me, I kind of knew it would, just because I feel like if you're a graphic designer, the one book you're always going to have, or multiple books, is going to be logo books, I mean, I collect logo books, and if I'm going to buy a book, it's going to be a logo book. So I figured that, people would be a little bit hyped on it and buy it. So yeah, it's been going good.
It's like a weird dynamic you have. A lot of agencies out there. I'm not gonna go and like buy pentagram swag, like I'm not gonna most likely buy a book for them. Why do you think what you guys do is different? I think going to the conferences makes a huge fucking difference of tapping into, like, people get to see the humans behind it, connect to your work a lot more. But like, I'm not one to buy a logo tee yet. I'm rocking like a graphic logo tee as we talk. Like, right. I'm swagged up in Lincoln. Why do you think that is? Why do you think people like me or the listeners, why are we more attracted to your shit?
Oh man. I don't know. I'd like to think because it's done well, and the design is there, and if the design is done well, people are going to gravitate towards it and buy it. But yeah, it is something that there isn't a lot of studios that do what we do and then make their own merch like we do. So there isn't a lot of that out there. At the same time, I don't think it will work for everybody as well. It works for us, and I think some of that comes from just a lot of our backgrounds come from the skate and apparel industry and working with brands, in those spaces. So we know what sells for those people, how that stuff is produced and sold. So it kind of makes sense for us to do it. Like if you're a studio that specializes in packaging and you think you're going to make a bunch of t-shirts and sell them on your website, I doubt that's going to work. We just have a background in, apparel design and skateboard graphics and stuff like that. So we had, Dustin and I were doing the Revere thing, making the patches. So that just kind of snowballed into making the Lincoln patches, and then people were down to buy those. So we make more patches, and, it just, we're going to continue to make product as long as people buy it, so yeah, it's fun. It's fun stuff.
I guess translating that to people who aren't you guys, but all the shit you learn at a different job or the skill set you learn here, something you learn here, how it all kind of translate when you connect the dots to where you are right now, doing all the same stuff.
It does. Yeah, it definitely does. Dustin and Damaso came from a giant screen printing company that was doing they were doing graphics and tees for Marvel and stuff like that for Walmart, where they're making, whatever, 500,000 of one design. So they came from that apparel grip background. I came from kind of the skateboard shoe industry. And so we know that stuff, like I said, we know what sells. And that's where, I feel like even some kids coming out of school and stuff, and if you're coming out of school and you're kind of like, oh, I'm going to go straight from school to doing freelance, and I should, my work's good, I should be able to get a bunch of clients, I wouldn't suggest it. To me, you need to get a job in the industry, make some contacts, get some experience, and then maybe see if you want to do the freelance deal, because just to jump off straight out of school and think you're going to make a killing in the freelance industry is tough. I mean, I know so many guys that are super good, super talented, that have full-time jobs and they do freelance on the side, but you're kind of like, damn, that guy can't even keep enough projects going to do it on his own, so that's just where, I feel like kids out of school and stuff like that, you got to make sure that you have that background to fall back on, or that knowledge to make it in the design industry. Like we all came from something else or had some experience, before we got into this. So.
Damn. Okay, you pretty much just answered what's one piece of advice you give yourself when you're just starting off, or someone else who's ambitious like that. Because so many other people are like, I'm gonna go to school real quick and I'm gonna start a t-shirt company.
Right.
Okay, that was me for a second, but I got a day job at the same time, and I learned so much from that. Like I'm doing what I'm doing now because of those side hustle pursuits. But I like that, relationships are everything. Go get experience. Go be a student of soaking up someone else's knowledge first in an agency or whatever. So, I mean, or be like Jordan and go hunt down you guys or show up on your front doorstep. Maybe not you guys because you're not looking at the moment. But before we go into rapid fire real quick, since this show is perspective podcast, it's all about perspective and creative fuel for your mind and grind. I like to ask people this: what are your internal and external forces that fuel your grind? Why do you show up each day? What gets you pumped to get out of the bed and get to the office early to get through a whole day of doing work? Why do you do what you do?
I mean, I think I do it, and I think a lot of these guys do as well, is kind of for the variety of it, we have a lot of different projects and clients, and every day is a different project and design. We're not working on, basically just a shoe catalog for a month straight or something like that. Every day is different, and every day we kind of don't know what you're going to get or get into or what that new project is going to be. So I kind of get out of bed every morning going, okay, who knows what today has to offer, or what might be the new project, or how this project we're working on is going to turn out. So yeah, I think for me, it's just the excitement of the different projects and day-to-day changes.
Does it even feel like work at all? Does it even feel like when you work, doesn't feel like work at all?
Yeah.
You guys are on a fucking retreat right now.
Yeah.
With your swag all up in this Airbnb, I'm assuming?
Yeah.
Draped up everywhere.
Yep, it's an Airbnb. I wish I could turn the thing, but yeah, it's right on the.
Yeah, I see the draw shit. I see the banners in the background. Like that's so dope, man. Like that's like a day job that's hard to leave.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. We brought basically everyone grabbed their computer, brought all the computers out, a bunch of pop-up tables, and basically set up kind of an office inside the kitchen of this Airbnb that's on the cliff, looking at a lighthouse out here. So yeah, it's cool, and we do it once a year, and it's fun. Everyone gets together. Like I said, we got a lot of work this time, so we spent a day and a half now, kind of just working the whole time. But we'll try and get out and spend like tomorrow or later this evening doing a little hike or checking out the lighthouse or Newport, some of the bars. So yeah, you got to keep it interesting, and that's the thing too. Like I feel like we have a studio and stuff, and we're working in the studio day in and day out, but it's always good to get out, get a new work in a new environment. I mean, it's definitely a job that you can do on the road to a certain point. You can definitely take, especially if you're working on a laptop, take that laptop with you, go work somewhere at a picnic table in a campground that has Wi-Fi or whatever, do a hotspot on your phone and work, at the picnic table all day. Like you'll get a different perspective on that project or just, your career and stuff if you get out of the office and work somewhere else. I mean, I know Damaso does a lot of, he'll go to coffee shops and where else do you go, Damaso?
Yeah, I'll go to public libraries, coffee shops, whatever,
Just to get out of his studio, his home studio.
That's a tip for me because I'm like, I mean, now that this episode is out, I got laid off out of nowhere from my job at the beginning of November. And so like, yeah, it took me a couple weeks to figure out what the hell I was going to do as I'm building this portfolio. And now I've literally every day I'm in my office while I'm trying to pack on the side, like 10 to 12 hours, just grinding, building portfolio, building content, podcasts. And I'm missing that human connection right now. So I never even thought about going to a coffee shop just to like sketch all day if I have like a project like that. Like that's I don't know why that doesn't even dawn on me, but that makes total sense.
Yeah, you should do it. Try it out. Yeah.
Go to the local pizza shop, just hang out the whole time.
Yeah, there you go. You can just be putting pizza stuff.
But blessing in disguise, now I get more time to have connections and conversations with people like you guys without being like, oh shit, I'm about to reach my hour. Because I did all my stuff over lunch break, so it didn't interfere with family time. And I'd be like, oh fuck, now I'm late 10 minutes back to work and this and that. So yeah, now I'm not in a rush for things. But let's go to rapid fire so I can respect your time because you guys got deadlines. But I asked you this before. But if you were on death row, what would your last slice of pizza be?
Oh, it'd be a meat lovers. Anything meat, pile on the meat.
Anywhere specific? You're a sausage kind of guy, huh?
Well, no. No.
Give me all the sausage.
Pepperoni, sausage, ham, like whatever, bacon. Put all the meat on there, and I'm down. Yeah, with a ton of cheese on top.
Word. All right. Damn, I wanted to ask each one of you guys this one, but if you were reincarnated, I've never asked this one before, and design was not an option, what would your career path be outside of, like, what would you be doing, you think, outside of the design world?
I'd be a professional skateboarder or snowboarder. Something right. In that industry.
And I was gonna think like you being like the WWE or something.
No, heck no. No way. No, it's skate or snowboard for sure.
All right. If you could have lunch with one person, dead or alive, who would it be and why?
Oh, geez. Man, that's tough. I mean, right now, I'd probably sit down with Elon Musk. I think he's interesting as shit and weird to talk to from what I've seen, so I think that'd be an interesting conversation.
I feel like you guys could do a dope ass like car rap for that new crazy cyborg whip that he put out recently. Like
for sure.
Parade one of his flamethrowers.
Yeah.
All right. I want to hear everyone's thoughts on this one. Do you believe in aliens or life existing outside of our solar system?
I do personally. Yeah. I think they got some shit in some kind of bunker somewhere. Yeah. At some point they either it's still alive or the thing's dead or whatever, but they've seen some shit and they've done a great job of keeping people's mouths shut.
Is everybody in agreement? Is there any objections to this?
Yeah, I gotta see it to believe it, man.
See it to believe it?
Yeah.
He's a doubter.
That's a stretch.
Yeah.
Skeptic.
Just based on numbers, we're not the only ones.
Thank you. All right, Brandon.
Sure, aliens.
Aliens, yes. Yes.
If not, I'm bombed.
Right.
You're right. I want to be like alive when that shit happens, and I'll also be terrified at the same time, man. What's the dream project you guys haven't had a chance to do yet?
Ooh. Jeez. Shit. Anybody?
Coors Light.
Coors Light. Coors Light
You
packaging.
look like a banquet beer kind of guy, Dustin.
New can design for Coors Light.
I do like that super minimalistic, clean, just red flat logo that they have going on right now.
Yeah, they've been ripping through the Coors Light here nightly. 30 packs a night going down. So
Reminds me of college.
hey, right? Yeah.
What about you? Any project that you're like, damn, I haven't got a chance to do this, like skinning a plane or something like that?
That's not a bad one. That'd be pretty sick. Oh man, I can't even think of.
Challenge you to dream right now. When's the last time you got to do that, Dan?
Yeah. The what?
The Rock, something from The Rock.
Dustin says The Rock. I'm a fan of Dwayne Johnson. So yeah. We were supposed to start a new style guide for The Rock through WWE, and that has yet to happen. But I was pretty pumped on that. I'm like, hell yeah, let's do that. That would be a good one. I'd be down to do whatever for The Rock.
All right. Last one. Where can people go to follow you online and support you guys?
You can go LincolnDesignCo.com or LincolnBrandCo.com, and then on Instagram, Lincoln Design Co. Follow us there. Instagram's kept up pretty regularly with new work and kind of what we're doing. Right now we're at the retreat, so I'm posting on there photos and graphics every day from the retreat. So check that out. And then we post our work on there as well. I'm gonna make a push to update the website pretty heavy in January, February of next year. We haven't updated it much. We always update it with product and the blog. We keep that pretty up to date, and then we'll put new animation work up there. But as far as like the portfolio section and stuff like that, that hasn't been touched in a while. So that'll be coming soon, hopefully right after the new year. So check that out.
Also, I've been meaning to ask here. This is last question 1B, whatever it is. What's your Instagram strategy? You guys kind of do that triptych, Like, do you really put much thought into it, or you put being really intentional? Hashtags, everything, timing, analytics. Like, what's kind of your strategy?
I do most of the Instagram posts. And honestly, I mean, that shit takes a long time. All that, the whole, like you said, the whole strategy and thought behind it, and hey, what's next? And we just posted a bunch of logos recently. Maybe we should do something else.
Do you have like a burner account or an app that you like plan your feed out, or you just have like, this is what I'm gonna post here, and then you guys get done with some work, actually I'm gonna post a triptych of this, like do you plan it ahead? Just roll out?
No, I mean, I plan that. I try and do something like Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I definitely can't do something every single day. Like, I just don't have time for that.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't think we need to at the same time. But it's basically just on my plate as something I need to do, on Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So yeah, there isn't any like real schedule or, hey, it has to be this or that. It's kind of just done on a whim, but we do a lot, we'll do 3 at a time, triptych posts for most stuff.
Where did that concept come from, and how have you noticed a big difference when you started doing that, what you posted before?
It makes it harder to come up with a new post. It makes it a pain in the ass, It's one of those things.
I thought about trying that, but now you just kind of convinced me to get off the edge of that. So
yeah, you kind of create this work for yourself, that instead of doing 1 post, now you got to do 3, type of thing.
9 in a sense in a week.
Yeah, exactly. So, but so much of our work that we do, like, there's multiple sides to the project or a lot of work that comes out of it, so I just found it hard to just do 1 post of like, we did this style guide and we did all these badges and patterns and illustrations. Let me do 1 single post that encompasses that, even though you have sliders. So it works out better for us just because a lot of our stuff has a lot of content to it, so I can come up with those posts pretty easily.
We're about time we made this happen. I'm hoping that we don't wait another 2 years to get round 3. Hopefully round 3 is in person next time.
Yeah, that'd be sick.
Maybe at the retreat, now that I got like a whole digital recording in person setup now.
There you go. Fly you out to the next one, and we'll sit down. Next one will probably be up in the woods in the mountains somewhere. So
let's fucking go hunt some UFOs.
There you go.
And nothing but Coors Light and UFOs and pizza. That'd be dope.
That's right. Yeah.
All right. Well, I appreciate you guys. Keep in touch. Anything I can do to help you out, let me know.
Cool. Right on, Scotty. Thanks, man.
All right, brother. See you guys.
Cool.
Peace. Later.
Thanks again for listening. It'd be awesome if you took the time to subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, and let the comment below so we can connect. Again, if you want to catch a shout out as a future listener of the week, make sure you subscribe to the show on iTunes and give it a rating and review.